guys, it's ToProForuGames or Adam, and welcome back to another one of my top 5 videos, and this here is part 3 to the 5 things you didn't know you could do here in Call of Duty Zombies. So since this is going to be our last Treyarch Zombies top 5 for a little while, let's see if we can break 3,000 likes on today's top 5. After this, it's going to be World War II Zombies for a little bit because we are only a couple days away from World War II. Now, if you didn't see the last 2 parts to this little top 5 series, what I'll be doing in this video is I'll be going over 5 little things in Treyarch Zombies, like little tricks, strategies, or things that really aren't discussed a lot in the Zombies community. So a lot of people don't even know that these things exist in Zombies, or you just forgot about them over time. So besides that, guys, let's go ahead and talk about 5 things you didn't know you could do here in Call of Duty Zombies. So coming in at number 5 on my list, Leroy can build any buildable for you, and this here is so handy on Buried. And if you have watched previous top 5 things you didn't know you could do in COD Zombies Part 1 or 2, I talk a lot about Leroy because Leroy is so incredibly helpful on Buried, and I feel like a lot of people don't really use Leroy as much as they should, and I guarantee you there's probably some things out there that the Zombies community hasn't even found yet, because the things he can do, it is literally endless. There's so many things, and this thing is so helpful on Buried because if you want to build buildables on Buried, all of the parts are located in one room, and if you don't know exactly what each part looks like, it can be really confusing trying to build a specific buildable. So instead of going through the hassle of having to find each individual part, all you have to do is get some candy from the candy shop and go up to a buildable table when Leroy is beside it, feed him the candy, and then Leroy will actually look at the buildable table. He will run into the room where all the parts are, collect all the parts for a random buildable, come back, and he will build it all at once. It is so helpful, and just go around to every single buildable table and do this, and you will have all the buildables built really quickly. And the reason why I put this here in the number 5 spot is because I feel like this is one of those things that a lot of people should know about when it comes to what Leroy can do, but there might be a lot of you out there that had no idea that this actually existed. So coming in at number 4 on my list, I have the Die Rise Strafe Jump. Now, if you are an experienced Zombies player, there's like a 98% chance that you're gonna know this one right here, so skip to the number 3 spot. But for those of you who don't really know BO2 Zombies all that well, or you just recently got into Zombies maybe with Black Ops 3, this is something that will definitely help you if you go back and play Die Rise. So when you first play Die Rise, or you load up Die Rise and you're progressing through the map, you'll eventually come to where the box is. The box is kind of like flipped upside down on the ceiling, and if you progress a little bit further than that, you'll kind of drop off this ledge, and you will be in this other room, and you can't get back to where the box is unless you go around the entire map. And that's one of my least favorite things about Die Rise. Once you get past a certain section and you want to go back, you have to literally go around the entire map, and that can be really, really annoying. So if you do want to go back to where the box is, the original box location, you can actually do a really cool strafe jump to get back there, and that can be very, very helpful, especially if you kind of aren't thinking and you run by the box when you actually wanted to go. You can actually get back up there. Like I said, guys, a lot of you probably know this, but I really wanted to include it on this list for some of the new zombie players. So coming in at number 3 on my list, I have something regarding the weapon locker on Black Ops 2 Zombies, and there are a lot of interesting combinations you can do to get specific weapons from the weapon locker, and let me quickly explain. So when you have certain weapons on like Die Rise or Buried, and you put, say for example, an AN-94 Pack-a-Punch on Buried into the weapon locker, and then you go onto Transit and take that weapon out, guess what? The AN-94 is not on Transit, obviously, so you'll get a different gun. So in that case, you will get the Galil, and of course I'll have like all the combinations on screen. If you put the PW, you'll get the Chickum on Transit. If you put the SVU, you'll get the FAL on Transit. If you get the Remington New Model Army that is specifically on Buried, you will get the Python on Die Rise and Transit. If you put the LSAT in the weapon locker, you'll get the Hammer. And here's a weird one, guys. If you put the RPG in the weapon locker on Die Rise or Buried, you will get the Ballistic Knife on Transit. Kind of a weird switch there, but that's what happens when you put specific weapons in the weapon locker. Now, that's not all. I have one other little thing about the weapon locker that a lot of you probably don't know about. It's nothing absolutely crazy, but I thought I'd throw it in here. If you were to access the weapon locker on round 1 a lot, like on Buried and Die Rise, it is so easy to go to the weapon locker on round 1. If you do that consistently, there's actually a good chance that your weapon will actually just disappear. It just won't be there anymore, and this has actually happened to me a couple of times because it's actually really nice having a PAP gun in there for getting gameplay and things like that. It's just really convenient having it there, and there are actually times where my gun just literally just disappeared because I kept accessing that weapon locker on round 1. So coming in at number 2 on my list, did you know that you can upgrade the Dragon Strike on Gorod Krovi? And this is one of those things that I originally didn't even want to put on my list, or I was going to have it in the number 5 spot, but the more I thought about it, like thinking back to past streams and watching other people stream Gorod Krovi, no one ever mentions the Dragon Strike upgrade, and it's kind of weird because I feel like the Dragon Strike is incredibly helpful on Gorod Krovi, and everyone gets that original Dragon Strike, but no one ever goes for the upgraded version of it, which is way better and way more helpful. Now, in order to actually upgrade the Dragon Strike, it is really simple. Of course, you have to acquire the original Dragon Strike first. Once you've done that, all you have to do is get 50 kills with that Dragon Strike, which is really easy to do. Once you've done that, you'll hear a audio cue, and then you'll have to go around the map, and depending on how many players you're playing with, if you're playing solo, you'll only have to find 1 flag. If you are playing 4 players, you'll have to find 4 flags. So if you guys wanted to look up a tutorial, go for it for all the flag locations, but once you find your flag, you put your Dragon Strike on it, you hear another audio cue, you go back to the Pack-a-Punch, and you pretty much just do another lockdown. Once you've done that, you go back up and you can go ahead and pick up your upgraded Dragon Strike, which is way more powerful, and you have 2 per round instead of 1. Again, something on Gorod that is very helpful, but no one ever talks about it, and that's why I put it here in the... So coming in at number 1 on my list, did you guys know that you can get 2 ray guns at the same time? And honestly, there are a lot of methods in COD Zombies, primarily in Black Ops 2, a couple in BO3, but honestly, in BO3, you don't want 2 ray guns because the ray guns kind of suck in Black Ops 3, but in BO2, having 2 ray guns is really awesome. So today, I'll be sharing with you guys one of many methods on how to get 2 ray guns at the exact same time. Now, in order to do this specific method, you have to make sure that you have the ray gun permaperk active on Buried. So jump into the game, activate the ray gun permaperk, and then end the game and start a brand new match. Once you're in this new game, all you have to do, it's really easy, all you have to do is get the ray gun Mark II, get the paralyzer, and get Mule Kick if you want to keep your paralyzer, right? So once you go ahead and get those things right there, you can head back to the spawn, fly up to the original spawn point where the Olympia and the M14 is with your paralyzer, and you can go ahead and go up to the Olympia, buy that, and that will actually give you your second ray gun. Now, of course, in order for this to work again, you have to have the permanent perk, but there are so many other methods in Black Ops 2 where you don't have to have that specific permanent perk. Of course, I'm not going to go over them because there are just so many in Black Ops 2, but it is really awesome being able to get 2 ray guns at the same time in BO2 because the ray gun is actually good in that game, and it's something you actually want. And before, with this method, you could actually get 3 ray guns at the same time, but unfortunately, they patched that, so now you can unfortunately only get 2. So there we have it, guys. 5 things you didn't know you could do here in COD Zombies. And guys, I think I have to say this might be, most likely is going to be the last part to this entire little series that I'm doing with the things you didn't know you could do in COD Zombies. I just don't really think there's anything else that is actually really interesting. These are like the last couple things that I think some of you may not know about, but besides that, if I can find 5 more things, I will do it maybe later on. But for now, guys, I think I'm putting this series to rest, and we'll try to come up with some other interesting things. Alright, guys, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Call of Duty Zombies content. Peace out, guys.